Hello and welcome. My name is Lexi and today we are going to be taking a look at a few different products. We've got some comparisons here. So I have the new Jones Road lip pencils and the new Chanel lip pencils. I'm also going to be looking at the Lisa Eldridge. These are the Velveteen liquid lip colors. So these came out probably like a couple months ago now. And I just received these in PR. So I'm going to share those with you. And then also we're going to be taking a look at the Lisa Eldridge eye pencils. So these are the new Seamless Glide eye pencils. I picked up all of the shades, so we'll look at those. And we're going to compare them with the Victoria Beckham eye pencils as well, because they do have fairly similar formulas. So let's go ahead and get started. Now we're going to start off with the liquid lipsticks. And again, thank you so much to Lisa Eldridge Makeup for sending these to me. So they sent me 4 shades. We have the shade Rain, and we're going to swatch these here on my hand. So you can see Rain is kind of your warm pink. It's a mid-tone warm pink shade. And, you know, when I say warm, you know, you do have a little bit of orange in there. It's not quite coral. It's definitely more pink than coral, but you do have a touch of that. And then we have Muse. Now, Muse is my favorite shade in the Velvet lipsticks. So I really wanted to try this one here. And you can see this is going to be a little bit more nude. You've got a little bit, there's actually a little bit of warmth in here as well. So we're going to take a look at that and compare it with the Velvet in the tube as well. And then we have Blush, which is what is on my lips right now. And you can see here's Blush. This is kind of a deep rose shade. It's a little bit cooler, but I would say it's like, you take that tea rose color and just make it deeper. That's what we have here. And then the iconic Ribbon. So I love the Ribbon lip color in general. It's a really beautiful blue red. And yeah, this is a really pretty red. So it translates beautifully to the liquid. Let's talk about this while we look at the lip swatches. The Lisa Eldridge Velveteen liquid lip colors retail for $27 US. We have 3 milliliters of product, a 6-month shelf life, and they are made in Italy. And I would have to say that these are really nice formulas. So you put them on, it's a thin liquid. It does dry down to a matte finish, but it's very weightless on the lips. You don't really feel, you know, any product being there. Sometimes when you have these very thin ones, you know, they might make your lips feel a little bit stiff or dry. This is really pretty much barely there. So according to Lisa Eldridge on the website, says it's a silky smooth, super long wearing liquid lip color in a customizable formula with a soft focused matte finish, bringing a playful new twist to the velvet lip experience. The Featherlight formula wraps lips in comfortable, even coverage and a nourishing blend of hydrating lip care ingredients. Velveteen allows time for artistic play before setting to a lip flattering finish that lasts all day. And you can, you know, put this on very softly, put some on your hand, you know, take a little brush and kind of dab it on for kind of your soft, muted look. Or you can put it on, as I did with the lip swatches, directly with the wand, and you're going to get something a bit more powerful and just, you know, more impact. So if you're going to do it that way, definitely precision is your friend. So I think it's really nice. Now, according to Lisa Eldridge, this is smudge-proof, budge-proof, non-drying with no chalkiness or crumbly, and it's cruelty-free and vegan. This liquid lipstick comes in 8 shades, and they are all 8 shades that we have seen before in the Velvet lipstick line. So I have to admit, I was slightly disappointed when these launched that they did not have any new shades. I would love to see some cool tone, new, like lighter shades. She's got some gorgeous nudes and light shades in the lipstick line, but they are primarily more warm tone. At least on me, they end up looking very warm tone. I'd love to see some cooler shades in that lighter range. Now, in this case, she picked 8 shades that are, you know, 8 of her best sellers. And you've definitely got classic shades here, definitely, you know, a range of shades. You've got Fawn, which is going to be a lighter nude, and Dragon and Jazz and so forth. So there's definitely a great shade range here, and I'm happy to see that these are included, but I do hope in the future to see an expansion of this shade range. Now, as for the formula itself, let's take a look. So this lip color has now been on my lips for over 10 minutes. So I'm gonna bring you in closer and we're going to just swipe it and see what happens. Let's start off with the tissue test. And there's really no product that came up, just a little bit from the corners of my mouth where it got wet. And that is something to know about this formula. If your lips do get wet, water, oil, whatever, when you're eating, it will wear off. And let's just get a finger. Yeah, it does kind of smear off with the finger. Now, most likely when you're wearing this, you're not going to be smudging it intentionally like I just did. So the wear time you could see in the wear test is decent. Now, instead of touching up where it has faded, I wanted to show you what it looks like with the gloss on top. And this is one of Lisa Eldridge's glosses in Dancing Rose. So this is the pink shimmer. And you can see it looks great, and the color does not actually come off on the wand if you let the matte shade set before applying the gloss on top. So I think this is a great way to revive it. The gloss is cushiony, comfortable. I personally really enjoy Lisa Eldridge's lip gloss formula. I think it's a nice formula, and it pairs very beautifully with these. So if you want to transform your velvet lip to a glossier look, you know, her lip glosses are a great way to do that. And she has a lot of matching shades as well. Now let's take a look at these hand swatches here. And you can see kind of up here where the wand first touched my hand, that part's still a little wet. So let's just go ahead and take a look at the bottom here. You can see there's a little bit of smudging, but again, it's nothing major. Wear time on these is pretty good, but I would not call them smudge proof, budge proof per se. And yeah, let's go ahead and look at some comparisons before we move on to the next product. All right, so we're gonna start off with the matching shades of the lip gloss. So this one here is Rain. We're just gonna put a dab of that right here so you can see how well the colors coordinate with each other. I would say that they are a pretty good match. So I think that Rain in the Velveteen, you see a little bit more of that pink. The gloss is ever so slightly more, there's a little bit more warmth to it from like a brown nude mix in there. So you see more of the brighter pink in the Velveteen. Now, as for Muse, let's take a look at the Muse lip gloss. We'll put this one right above it. And you can see that this is gonna be lighter. It's also a little bit, it's more of a rosy nude, and I feel like this is significantly deeper in the Velveteen formula. And let's take a look at blush. And blush is gonna be right here. And again, just like with Muse, we're looking at definitely a softer version of this. This is a really pretty, you know, it actually has a bit more mauve in there. And, you know, I wouldn't say it's cooler, and I wouldn't say one's warmer or cooler than the other, but I would say that the composition shades kind of are slightly different. So the gloss is a little bit more pink, like a cooler pink in there versus more of a cooler berry in the Velveteen. And then we have Ribbon, and here's the Ribbon. And you can see we fade out to that same blue red. However, the gloss, you just notice a little bit more of the pink than you do in the Velveteen. And again, the glosses are meant to be a bit lighter and more sheer. So that's just how they coordinate. Let's look at the Velvet lipsticks. Now, I have put mine into little Vusette cases. Now, I don't have Velvet Rain in here, but I do have the rest of the shades. So let's take a look at Muse. Okay, so here is Muse. And again, you can see with the lipstick, it's a little bit more mauve, it's a little bit rosier, it's slightly cooler in tone. Knocking things over here. And then let's move on to blush. So here's blush, and all right, and here is Velvet blush. I would say those are a really close match there. You can see it looks a little bit darker in the liquid where it has kind of gone on top of itself, but the colors match pretty well off. You might see slightly more red in the liquid, but they're really close. And last up is ribbon. And again, this is going to be a really, really close match. Those are pretty much identical there. So really great color matching there. So overall, I'd have to say that the Velveteen liquid lipsticks, I think are really, really nice. I really like them. I like how comfortable they are on the lips. They are not going to be something that is completely transfer proof if your lips get wet, moisture, if it's humid outside or something like that. But the wear time on them, you can definitely get pretty much like a full day with them. You can obviously top it off with a gloss and so forth. They are definitely competitive with the other liquid lipsticks that have come out recently, like the Givenchy. These remind me a lot of the Givenchy liquid lipsticks and the Burberry liquid lipsticks. So formula wise, I feel like those are all pretty comparable. I will be doing a rundown on liquid lipsticks, in a few weeks. And we'll take a look at all of them. We've had so many liquid lipstick releases, but I would have to say that they are a really nice formula and I really like them, and I hope to see them expand this color range. While we're talking about Lisa Eldridge, let's go ahead and move on to the Seamless Glide eye pencils. And I picked up all 6 of the shades, and Lisa Eldridge has really been expanding. So you can now purchase these on Lisa Eldridge. You can purchase them at Selfridges, at Liberty, and so forth. So you've got several different retail options here. So let's take a look at what we get with a purchase of these. So here is our pencil, and we do have a 2-year shelf life on these. So that's really great. We have 1.2 grams of product. And these are made in Germany, which is common for eye pencils. They are known to be really great. They do not come with a sharpener. And you can see they are going to be a very soft, creamy pencil. Let's go ahead and swatch them. We're going to start off with Black Treacle. And you can see this is super, super creamy. Let me just show you one line. And, it is incredibly soft. You can see the tip, when you press down on that, you definitely will kind of dull the edges on there. It's super creamy. The black is definitely a true rich black. And then next up, we have Cinder Smoke. And this one here, is just a beautiful deep gray. Look at that. Really nice, rich charcoal. It doesn't lean cool or warm. It's a perfect neutral charcoal shade. I really love that shade. And then Night Forest. These 2 are my 2 favorites. Night Forest and Cinder Smoke. And you can see this is going to be a deep green. And in this case, we're looking at kind of like, forest green typically has a little bit more blue in it than this. This is like a true, like a really deep olive green in that case. So kind of like olive mixed with forest. Really beautiful shade. Then we have Ground Coffee, which is a really nice deep cocoa brown, neutral brown. Really like this one. This is such a great shade, but you can see just looking at my hand here, is that focusing? You can see how creamy this formula is. And then moving on, we have Burnt Umber. I almost didn't buy all of them, and this one I wasn't going to get, but I'm glad I did. So this is going to be a warmer brown. It's lighter in tone. It's definitely warmer. It's got a little bit of red in there, but it's a really pretty shade. And then we have Renaissance Gold, which I have to say this is my least favorite. So this one's shimmery, but I don't think it's that golden. It's actually a really beautiful shade, but it just wasn't what I was expecting. It's really much more of a taupe / gold. You can see you've got some golden shimmer in there. So overall, though, I have to say I do like all 6 of the shades. I think they are really nice. Let's take a look at some demos and wear tests with these so you can kind of see how they perform while we talk about some details. Now, as I mentioned before, we have 1.2 grams of product, a 2-year shelf life, and these are made in Germany. And according to Lisa Eldridge, these seamlessly glides on pigment with a luxurious, almost liquid feeling, allowing for playtime before setting to a budge-proof, waterproof, and fade-resistant finish that will last all day with 16-hour proven wear. Suitable for the lids, lash line, and waterline, infused with soothing chamomile flower extract, the formula smooths color comfortably across the lid, hugging the lash line in pure, rich color. This is your dream soft kohl pencil that sets and stays put. It says it should set in around 40 seconds with one swipe. And if you build that up, then obviously it will take a little bit longer to set. So there are 6 addictive shades from velvety matte to lustrous metallic. And the Renaissance Gold, they describe it as a blackened metallic gold with cool champagne pearl. I think that is a pretty apt description. Night Forest is your deepest green with blue and green pearl. Honestly, I don't see any pearl in there. There's absolutely no shimmer in any of the shades aside from the Renaissance Gold. Cinder Smoke is a cool gray with subtle pearl. Black Treacle is a classic matte black. Ground Coffee is a neutral deep matte brown, and Burnt Umber is a rich, warm matte brown. And you can use any pencil sharpener that fits a pencil, it says. So just something to note there. And overall, I would have to say that I think these eye pencils, they're really creamy, they're easy to use, they're comfortable, but I personally don't agree with the claims. For me, let me just go ahead and show you the clips with the Victoria Beckham eye pencils. Now, the Victoria Beckham, eye pencils, I love those. I think they are great, but I only use them for smudged out looks because they are a very creamy product and they do not stay put, like budge proof, throughout the day for me. They are not something I can use on the waterline. And, the Lisa Eldridge are in the same category for me. So these are really beautiful eye pencils, but for me, they work best smudged out. And they do not 100% set on me. Even smudged out, if I go and I actually, try to move it with my finger, after hours, it's still going to kind of move around. So you can see in this comparison with the Victoria Beckham eye pencil, just, we're looking, after a few minutes, after 15 minutes, and you can see if I am putting this on my waterline or the upper lash line, if I'm actually putting that product on without smudging it out and allowing it to set that way, then you are going to get transfer. It makes a mess under the eyes. Compared to the Victoria Beckham, the Lisa Eldridge is slightly creamier than the Victoria Beckham. It also means it sets just a little less well, but honestly, the two of these are pretty similar in formula. They are pretty close. And you can see though, if you are gonna build that up and it is not something you're gonna smudge out, it definitely does make a mess. We have transferred to the lower lash line. I did not put anything on the lower lash line just so you guys could see, how much product transferred and so forth. And you can see I can still smudge it with my fingers even after 15 minutes. So it does not 100% set on me. And I have actually in this demo here, I have eye primer on too to help that set. If my lids do not have any sort of base on them and I just go in on bare skin, as the oil in my skin kind of builds up throughout the day, it definitely can make a mess. And you could see during the demos when I wore these all day that these definitely will crease if you use them as all over color. Now with the Victoria Beckham, I do sometimes use those as all over color, and honestly they crease a little bit less for me than the Lisa Eldridge. So I would say that they are pretty close, but they just don't quite meet the claims in my opinion. That being said, I do think they are an incredibly comfortable eye pencil to wear. If you like that smudged out look, I personally like to go in with a brush on this pencil. So take the brush, use the pencil, and I'm showing you today's demo now. You can see I did that and then kind of smudge that out. And that's my favorite way to use these pencils. It performs well that way. There's not really much product for any transfer or anything, so it's not really an issue when used this way. And I think the colors are beautiful and there's no eye irritation. So even when I was putting this on the upper lash line and really kind of getting it in there, I didn't have any eye irritation whatsoever from the Lisa Eldridge. I did have a little bit of redness from the Victoria Beckham, but honestly, I don't think it was from the actual formula. It's probably just because I have a really hard time putting anything on my waterline. I've had like LASIK a couple times and my eyes are just very, very sensitive, which is a reason why I very, very rarely put anything in that area. So just something to know. I think they both perform well there, but the Lisa Eldridge did have a little bit of the edge on the comfort there. However, these are so close, it's almost a toss-up. Now, as I mentioned, the Victoria Beckham is also very, very soft, but the Lisa Eldridge feels a bit creamier. So let's take a look. And I do want to note the packaging differences. So the Lisa Eldridge, we have a pencil straight up, and there is, nothing here at the end. The Victoria Beckham satin cudgel liners do have a foam tip applicator on one end, which really does help with the smudging. But you can see that these are both very, very soft. They were sharpened before I used them today. So you can see, let me just show you how creamy this is in comparison. We'll put that this way so we don't mix them up. But you can see they are both incredibly creamy. It's honestly really, really close. So I would say if you like the Victoria Beckham, you'll like the Lisa Eldridge and vice versa. But let's just do a couple of shade comparisons here. Now, the Smoky Quartz from Victoria Beckham, I did want to look at this one with the Renaissance Gold. I actually use this one all the time. So there's not that much of a difference. The only difference, and this is like a very slight difference, is that we have a little bit more brown in the Victoria Beckham, and the Lisa Eldridge is just slightly more gray. So I don't know, perhaps with different eyeshadows, I will actually end up preferring this one more so than I thought I did. But yeah, this is a little bit more brown versus more of a grayer shade in the Lisa Eldridge, but that's going to be our closest match there. We have Olive from Victoria Beckham. I do want to note here that Victoria Beckham, these have been around longer, so there is a more extensive shade range here. So this is the shade Olive from Victoria Beckham versus Night Forest from Lisa Eldridge. You can see that this is going to be deeper and there is going to be more blue in here as well. So it's just kind of a deeper, richer green. Think more of like a really, really deep emerald versus, something a little bit dustier from the Lisa Eldridge. So different shades. I think they are both fantastic. However, the Lisa Eldridge shade, for me, for my complexion, I like that shade just a little bit more because it can be used a little bit, for a lighter look a little bit more easily. So I think they're both really beautiful, and whichever one you prefer is really going to depend more on your eye color, in my opinion, because we've got the cooler tones in the Victoria Beckham and warmer in the Lisa Eldridge. So for me, the Lisa Eldridge brings out little like gold flecks in my eyes that I don't get from the Victoria Beckham. So, that's really going to be based more on personal characteristics that you have. This is the shade Ash from Victoria Beckham, and we're going to compare that with Cinder Smoke. This is our closest shade here. And you can see that this is going to be a little bit cooler in tone than the Lisa Eldridge. The Lisa Eldridge is a bit more neutral. This gray is going to be a little bit cooler. And this is the bronze pencil. I just wanted to put this one over here as well so you can kind of see how the Victoria Beckham bronze compares. And this is really going to be more of a rich metallic, kind of like an antique gold, burnt gold compared to those. And of course we have Cocoa, which is the quintessential shade. This is probably the most popular shade from Victoria Beckham. And you can see how that compares over here. Let's go ahead and connect that a little bit. And you can see that this shade it's not really gonna match. It's a bit warmer. It's also a little bit lighter. Cocoa is a good name, whereas the coffee shade here definitely has a bit more black in it. It's gonna be richer. It's also cooler in tone. So you can see that Cocoa is kind of in between burnt umber and ground coffee. So those are going to be my comparisons there. They're both incredibly creamy pencils, really great. Overall, I like them for smudge outlooks, but if you're looking for precision or budge proof or anything like that, you know, I would have to say that for me, they don't perform that way. And last up, we're taking a look at lip pencils. So we have the new Jones Road versus the new Chanel. And I have to say, I've always loved Chanel lip pencils. You know, I really like this previous iteration. They have reformulated them. They're a little bit softer and creamier. So let's go ahead and we're going to take a look at these. All right, so let's go ahead and start off with some swatches. We're going to start off with the Jones Road lip pencils. I'd like to say thank you to Jones Road for sending me these. So they sent me 4 of their 8 new shades. And let's go ahead and take a look. So these are, you know, Jones Road pencils in general, like if you've used their eye pencils, they're going to be a drier formula. Typically, their lip pencils are creamy yet dry as well. So something to note there, you know, that really does kind of help things kind of stay in place. So we'll talk about that in a minute. This shade here, though, is Nude Pink. And you can see it's going to be a soft pink. It does have some warmth to it. There's a little bit of peach in there. And then we have the shade Mauve. And, you know, I honestly don't really think of this one as mauve. It's more of a nude brown with maybe a touch of mauve in there. And then let's go on up here. We got Nudist. This is going to be a nice medium nude brown. And I think this is a great shade. It does have some warm tones to it. And then we have Nude Rose. Let's see if we can get that one down here. And yeah, this one's going to be a little bit deeper here. Again, we do have some warm tones in all of these, so none of these are overly cool. There are 4 additional shades. And then while we're swatching, let's take a look at the Chanel ones that I picked up. So this one here is 196 Rose Poudre. And these are, you can see it's creamier. You can see where I go over on top of it. It's a little waxy. So if I don't let it like kind of set for a second, you can kind of move that product. So something to note there. So that was number 196 Rose Poudre. Then we have 176 Blood Orange. And I really wanted to try this shade. I've been looking for like a nice orange pencil. I have a great one from Sisley, but I needed something with a little slightly different tone. So this is Blood Orange. It's got orange in there, but definitely pink as well. We have 186 Berry. This is my favorite of the ones I just purchased. And I have this one on right now with the Lisa Eldridge lip color. Really pretty pink tone berry there. And then we also have 194 Rouge Noir. So my favorite lip pencil for red lipsticks has always been Brun Carmen from Chanel, and that has been discontinued. So I purchased that one, Rouge Noir, and here's 180 Rouge Brick. I purchased that one to kind of see if that was going to be similar. But yeah, it's really not. So you can see that the Rouge Noir definitely has a bit more purple. The Rouge Brick is, I was thinking it was going to be a little bit deeper, a little bit more red, but it's really more of a brick warm tone pinky red. So it's definitely lighter than I thought. And you could see again, right where I went over that there, how the wax will kind of move it. So let's go to some lip demos and wear tests while we talk about these lip pencils. The Jones Road lip pencils have 0.92 grams of product. They're made in Germany. They have a 3-year shelf life. And, they retail for $22 US. So they're definitely an affordable option here. According to Jones Road, it says the ultimate you, but better lip product. The lip pencil is a richly pigmented pencil that defines and fills your lips for a refined modern look. The creamy formula is derived from the perfect blend of waxes and oils, giving you a lightweight, breathable, and barely there finish. The 8 nude shades match the color of natural lips, providing you with multiple options to add a subtle enhancement or play up a bolder look. I have to say I really have been enjoying these lip pencils. I like these to wear as all day lip color, either on their own or with gloss on top. And as you could see in the wear test, you know, when I did do that and I wore the gloss on top, it performed really well still throughout the day. You know, it definitely fades away by the end of the day. They won't last completely all day. That lip gloss can kind of help wear things away, but you could still see like a faint line of the lip pencil around there. When I wear these with lipstick, they really do kind of, you know, they help, you know, they definitely keep things in place. Now, as I mentioned, this formula feels a little bit drier than some lip pencils. So it's interesting, if you've tried the Jones Road eye pencils, those are a bit of a dry formula, like kind of your dry classic pencil. These are a little bit creamier than that, but they're not going to be as creamy as some other lip pencils like Pat McGrath or the Chanel. However, I have to say that they glide on very easily and they stay put. So I think overall, you know, if you're going to smudge these with your finger, they will smudge. You know, but overall they stay put very well throughout the day. I find them to be comfortable and the color remains pretty even throughout the day. So I like these lip pencils. Moving on to the Chanel are also made in Germany. We have an 18-month shelf life and we have 1.2 grams of product. So these are slightly larger. The new formula does not come with a sharpener anymore like the older ones did. And they changed the formula a little bit. You know, they're supposed to be creamier. They're not calling them waterproof, but they are claiming that they will kind of remain on. Now, I did kind of test that. I didn't film that part, but I wore some like in the shower and, you know, they do hold up pretty well in that case. However, if you're wearing it, you know, just kind of bare on your lips with nothing else on it, you know, it's going to perform, I wouldn't say any better than another lip pencil. They are not completely budge proof. Just like the Jones Road, I would say that they perform pretty similarly in that respect. However, these are a much creamier product. So I do think that when you put this on, you want to be careful if you're using this as a solid lip color. This product, because there is kind of like this higher like wax content to it, if you go over on top of the lip color before you have given that a chance to set, you're kind of actually moving and redistributing that product, and that can lead to uneven coloration. Now, one other thing I noticed, you know, wearing this with a lip gloss on top, and I used the exact same gloss for the Jones Road so we could kind of compare those, you can see that the edges here do not stay as crisp. They get a little bit more a little fuzzier on the edges. And now I didn't actually have bleeding or feathering or anything, but they did not stay quite as sharp. So I do think the Jones Road performed a little bit better than that. It's not a huge difference, but it is going to depend on your skin type. If you have oilier skin, you know, near your mouth and so forth, or you're eating like oilier foods, the lip pencil isn't going to stay put as well. Honestly though, if you are looking for something more budge proof, I would recommend the Sisley lip pencils. Those are my favorite. However, they have an incredibly high price tag now. So yeah, those I think are the best overall. But then I think Pat McGrath and these Jones Road are kind of, you know, right up there. And the Esom lip pencils are also incredible. Those are probably actually my second favorite. Those are waterproof. And then we would go to those. And then the Chanel, honestly, the previous formula, I would rank a little bit higher than this one. I wouldn't say this is a bad formula. There's nothing wrong with it per se. It just doesn't perform quite as well as the previous one for me. That being said, on a regular day-to-day basis, those aren't going to be things that I notice or bother me. It's really only when I'm going through testing that could be an issue. So I would have to say that for the most part, you know, both of these lip pencils are very solid options. But between the two of them, I do prefer the Jones Road over the Chanel. So let me just swatch a few of the previous formula for the Chanel. This is 172 Bois de Rose. I wanted to put that near, let's put it near Rose Poudre. But you can see this is going to be a different shade altogether. It's definitely more rose. And this is the Chanel Brun Carmen that I was trying to find a replacement for. Really love this, but let me just show you as I go over this, you can see that I don't have that waxy displacement with the previous formula. So the newer formula is a little bit waxier. And you can just see that the coloration of the previous formula is a bit smoother. The Jones Road is a bit smoother as well. So, you know, overall the new Chanel ones are okay, but the previous version still wins. Now, as for the Jones Road, I do really like those. So I am definitely going to take a look at the other shades, and I hope that they expand their shade range as well. And perhaps maybe they will have something similar to Brun Carmine in the future. But this is like my favorite like shade to go with red lipsticks, because it's more of a burgundy, but it just brings out depth of color in reds. Even not really the orangey reds, but neutral and cool reds really look awesome with this. So I hope this video is helpful. Please let me know if you've tried any of these, what your thoughts are. Overall, in summation, I would have to say that the Lisa Eldridge Velveteen lip colors, those are awesome. They are definitely a winner. I would definitely pick up more of them. The eyeliners are nice for a smudged out look, but if you're going for precision, they are not great. They're pretty comparable with the Victoria Beckham eyeliners, so it's really going to be more about the shade. The formulas will be pretty similar, and they perform fairly similarly as well. And as for the lip pencils, you know, both of them are nice formulas, but the Jones Road is actually a formula that I would say I love. The Chanel, I would say I like. So it has, you know, kind of fallen a little short from where the previous formula was, in my opinion. And yeah, I'd love to know your thoughts. So please share them down below in the comments. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you very soon. Have a great day.